The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Your host, Jess Tavares, today. Welcome to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, here live at the SWBC podcast studio at the Star in Frisco. I'm joined alongside Aisha Morrison and Kristi Scales. We're so excited to have you back.
It's been a minute.
We missed you so much. Let me say,
the brains in the business.
So many good things have been happening.
There's been a lot going on. First and foremost, how are you? How is Kristi?
Doing great. A little bit of traveling. Been busy. Like Aisha's been doing some stuff with the local schools, all the community things that we do in the off season, and doing career days and the like, and a lot of things for Women's History Month with women in sports.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
keeping busy with a couple things tomorrow. DISD, we got a lot going with the Girls Flag Football League that's sponsored by the Cowboys.
Yep.
Over 2,000 girls in North Texas participating.
Yep.
But a lot going on. I want to congratulate my sister Carrie, who is a special needs teacher's aide in Columbus, Ohio, and won an award today for her staff. And it was noted that of all of the great things she does, and when it can't get any better, she shows up for Pajama Day in her Dallas Cowboys pajamas, representing the Cowboys in Ohio. So
there you go.
Yeah, a lot going on. But no, I thought what I wanted to do today was share, for those of us that are here at the Star in Frisco, what it's really like behind the scenes in the field since all of these changes have been made the last couple of months and leading into the draft.
Yeah.
And I'm here to report that it's a very positive vibe.
Oh, they're excited.
It is a we're all in this together, and that is not casting aspersions at any previous regimes, because it's been a good culture.
Yeah.
But just the feeling of newness, I know that there has been so much behind the scenes approval and affirmation and liking the way that Coach Schottenheimer went through the process of building the new staff. And yet the staff that was retained in terms of not just the strength and conditioning, but like Linda Wells and those folks. So I think there's just enough carryover. And I think that as tough as it's been to say goodbye to players that we've lost in free agency, like Rico, like DeMarcus Lawrence, I really hated to see Jordan Lewis go. That's the one that I just if I could have one back, it would be him.
All of us, Kristi.
But I think just adding a lot to the depth, bringing in some new blood, and the Sanborns of the world. There's some familiarity with Matt Eberflus and the like. But getting like Dante Fowler back, I see some really positive things. And I don't know that Cowboys Nation is, and the media certainly, is not as excited about what's happening this offseason as those of us that are in the building that can really feel it.
Yeah, and I wanted to kind of ask you, because you mentioned how, there's been a lot of loss this offseason, and Rico and Jordan and Tank and Zach Martin, we haven't talked to you. You haven't been on in a minute. So out of all of those guys that have moved on or either retired, Zach, sad. I saw you wear your shirt to the press conference.
Yes.
But which one of those guys do you feel like we will feel the biggest impact for them being gone, early on as everything's starting to get a little more established?
Aisha may not agree with me on this, but we're usually on the same wavelength, so maybe so, but it is hard to replace someone who can play in the slot. That is a difficult position.
I agree
and
with
so,
you.
No.
I've been screaming at Kristi.
So the thing is, people don't appreciate how great Jordan Lewis has been for this team.
Talk about it.
So that's the one guy that I'm not surprised about any of it. I'm disappointed that the Cowboys didn't have enough space to keep Jordan, but I'm thrilled for him that he got so much money. I mean, you cannot turn down a $30 million deal.
No.
Yeah, he's a provider first.
He has to. He's a professional and providing generational wealth for his family. So absolutely the right thing. But that's the one move of the entire offseason that I'm most disappointed with.
I would agree. I would agree. I think I've said it numerous times as in regard to having the opportunity to cover the draft and having the opportunity to see what the nickel position, like, there's a lot of guys that can play boundary. There are not a lot of guys that can really man the nickel position. And Jordan is the one that actually taught me about all of the different details of the nickel position. That he is a part of the front seven, but he's also a part of the third part of the field. He marries them together. He's making a lot of the calls to the secondary from the second level. Like, and then also too, when we look at how offense is played right now. I mean, look at how most offensive coordinators that have been here with the Cowboys are manipulating with CeeDee Lamb where? In the slot. Right. Because it causes conflict. It makes a lot of corners don't want to run through trash. A lot of corners don't want to have to come up and be physical and set the edge sometimes and things like that. And the temperament that you have and skill you have to play that position, but also IQ.
Exactly.
It is very difficult to replace. And so I agree with you, and I've been kind of pushing that. Like, I feel like we're going to feel his absence the most because to come into that position, it takes time to get it.
Yeah.
It takes time.
You look at the percentage of snaps played, and I love DeMarcus Lawrence. And you don't just replace a DeMarcus Lawrence. Yes. And I'm talking about intangibles as well as how well he plays the run as well as, applying pressure. But even so, defensive linemen, they rotate out more than the players in the secondary.
Absolutely.
The cornerbacks are out there. Mm-hmm. The cornerbacks and the safeties, if they stay healthy, they generally play 90% of the snaps.
And they're playing man a lot.
And they're playing man a lot. Exactly right. And the other thing is, there's going to be there are a lot of question marks about the secondary as a whole just because of the health of the Trayvon Diggses of the world. So I think cornerback is a position that needs to be fortified, and it's like if you'd have kept Jordan Lewis, been able to allocate enough to keep him, then, at least you got that hardest part nailed down.
Yeah. Yeah, and he said, didn't he say something about in his presser, it was time for him to get what he deserved.
Yeah, he knew it was that time in his career after everything he's been through. After we've talked about the foot injury that he came back from, he knew his value, and good for him, as he should. Mm-hmm. I just wish his value was known here as well.
I think they know it, but you just can't keep everybody.
Value as in monetary.
But I know in what I've enjoyed the last month with the show is Osa getting his due.
Come on.
And finally, y'all get to, it's like they were listening to you guys, to
as
you ladies.
So, well, they didn't listen to me.
That was my letter. Well, it wasn't a letter.
You're the only one. They didn't listen to the rest of us. I'm so mad. Don't get me started.
But Jordan, one more thing about Jordan. He went through multiple coaching regimes that didn't appreciate him either. You remember, he had to fight his way to get to where he was. And Dan Quinn was the first one that was like, you know what? Yeah. I like this guy. And he became a starter. But for all the other years, he was too small. They were worried about his size and all this. And so I get him wanting to be appreciated. This is the latter part of his career. I hope he goes and kills it.
We'll miss you. We'll miss you, Pookie. We're rooting for you. Not
that Jags jersey is going to hurt me.
Kristi, going back to kind of the new regime that we're in here, in all things Cowboys, the coaching staff, much different and a lot of new names compared to the last time we talked.
New but old.
New but old, old but new.
Great to catch up with Flus,
That's
right?
kind of the thing.
Yeah.
What are some things that you want Cowboys Nation to know about Eberflus or even just any of these new coaching hires that new but old? But overall, we haven't gotten to hear your thoughts on it. We know there's some history there as well. Some things to note, some fun little nuggets about the coaching staff.
Well, I'm just really excited about having Matt back, and he was linebackers coach here previously with the Cowboys, and under Rod Marinelli. And I'm real good friends with Rod and got to know Matt really well. And so when he left the Cowboys, it was for an opportunity to be promoted to defensive coordinator with the Indianapolis Colts. And after having success there, that's when he was hired by the Chicago Bears as their head coach. But it's not that it's necessarily going to be running what Marinelli did. There's going to be a lot of to that. Yeah. But it, kind of like with running backs, you talk about running downhill. What it's going to be with the defensive linemen, in a way, is more of a downhill kind of thing, especially in terms of turning it loose with the pass rush. So I'm kind of speaking in generalities here.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to predict, okay, I think he's going to do this with this because we're still not sure what personnel he's going to have. Yes, they were great. You kept Osa. Good, you brought Dante back. But what are we going to have at linebacker, right? Yeah, there's still a lot of holes to fill. And then at cornerback, how confident are you going to be with the sides opposite of Deron Bland in terms of what you can do coverage-wise and communication and mixing up things? So much of it remains to be seen that I don't want to talk about too much about what I think it's going to be, because Flus can't tell you exactly. He knows what he wants to do, but until you have the ingredients, you've got the recipe, but if the ingredients don't fit the recipe, then you got to kind of change things up, and you're not quite sure how the meal's going to be prepared. And that's kind of the part that's where we are right now. But so are so many of the other teams in the NFL right now. But I would say it's the same thing with the offensive side of the ball. But I am glad that the new offensive coordinator does have a background as an offensive line coach in terms of, because when they talk about, but you can talk all you want about running the ball and that's going to be our identity and things are going to be off of running the ball. But the proof is in the pudding.
Sure.
And, you can say that you want to do it, but Zach Martin's not here anymore.
Yep.
What's going to happen with Tyler Guyton?
Yep.
Are we going to make is Cooper Beebe going to remain our center? I think he probably will, but
sure,
it's all lip service.
Yeah.
And even they can't cook up shoddy, they can't cook up what they do on offense until they have their personnel set.
Yeah, a little less uncertainty on the offensive side, I think. I think there are a little bit more. I think we know a little bit more about that side of the ball as of right now.
Defense, for sure.
But the defense is definitely concerning. If the Cowboys aren't going to try to replenish, I think they need to go corner in this draft. They need to go corner early in this draft. But if they're not going to fortify kind of the secondary, then make sure that front four is some dogs.
Yep.
Because that's if you don't have the resources, like the Cowboys have too many things to do right now to do it. Like they did some things in free agency. Obviously, they attacked some things in free agency. But I'm gonna be straight up with y'all. I don't know what Elam's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see a confident player yet. I see a player that has some talent, but I do see a guy that still needs to gain confidence. So for him to come in, I'm still not Kalen Carson coming off the shoulder, all this stuff like there. If you're not going to do what you need to do for the secondary, at least make sure the front four are some dogs, so you can apply some pressure and take some pressure off those guys.
I'll tell you what I see with Elam, and it's looking in the mirror and seeing gray hair because I was here when his dad played. So that's what I see.
Please.
Not the looking
That's what
in
I
the
see.
mirror.
That's what I
please.
see.
Oh man.
What you got?
Last thing, Kristi, before we go on break. Thoughts on Brian Schottenheimer as the new Dallas Cowboys head coach? We haven't heard from you. This is catching up with Kristi. We haven't gotten to ask you
catching
about
up
it.
with Kristi.
I knew that, I didn't have him top of my bingo, top of my list or, as the winning one for bingo for when this, all of the potential head coaching candidates were there. But once he got the one-on-one with Jerry Jones and the Jones family, I'm like, his chances are very good because
Your coaching hire feels we're tingling.
Well, it's like the youth pastor I used to have in terms of if you can get in front of Jerry and sell that passion and enthusiasm. And Brian Schottenheimer is great at relating his vision and emoting that enthusiasm. And selling you, and I don't mean selling in a bad way like con job, but just he is great at talking and not just convincing, but
Talks his
sharing.
talk.
Yeah.
He talks a good game.
Yeah, and I knew that once he could get that vision out there, and be able to justify it because of his knowledge of, being 3 years already and knowing a lot of the guys and who can fit where and what he would want to do with this and what he's seen the past 3 years and how it'll work. I wasn't surprised at all. And I was happy about it. And that, what I was saying a few minutes ago when we opened about the enthusiasm behind the scenes, it's because of Schottenheimer bringing all the, and I'm talking about within football ops. Even within football ops, you still kind of have your different departments within the department, right? And so just making everyone feel that they're as important as everybody else and that truly we are all in this together. Wildcats in the day.
I was going to say,
yeah, High School Musicist. I'm a little High School Musical going.
I was going to say, I don't think you guys would get it.
No, but it really, I'm just saying. I'm just saying you can feel it. I'm saying you can feel it.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I even at the Senior Bowl when I was there, I was keeping my ears low to the ground. And there's a lot of respect for Brian Schottenheimer. Like people don't look at him as just, because to me, especially in this business, it's how do your peers view you?
Right.
What do they think of you? Because we can think all we want to as media and all that stuff, but what do the people that do what you do think about you? And from some of the things I heard about him and stuff, like, people believe he can do it. They don't have a doubt that he can be a good head coach. I think he's going to be fine. But also, too, talking to the players, even in the last couple of years, is the enthusiasm, his energy is something that they enjoy. But pressers, we've been at the pressers.
Yeah.
What was your favorite? No offense to nobody, but between Bones and him, I always walked out learning something.
Right.
Yep.
I always walked out super ready to answer your questions. Want to talk the game, understands the game in depth. I also think that his passion for the game is infectious, and you want to, and I think players want to surround themselves with him. And he's also forward thinking, and I think you need to be in this league right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and McCarthy was that. McCarthy had brought in so much so with the analytics and empowering even the youngest members of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
But infectious is the perfect word, and that's something that I used it when Tony Romo first took over as a starter here. The infectious enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And that can permeate not just a locker room. It can permeate an entire building. It can lift an entire organization. Now, is it lifting the fan base yet? Is it lifting the media? No.
Yeah.
Is it going to mean anything what happens here if they get off to a slow start and struggle this year? Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
But you're asking me what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. I'm telling you what it's like right now. And so that's why I'm just praying, imploring that the Cowboys get off to a decent, if not very good start, because then the buy-in will come from Cowboys Nation.
And to be honest, I understand both sides of this, right? Like, I understand the fan base's frustration, and I feel like Shoddy is kind of the easy target that's getting a lot of frustrations from a lot of areas that he doesn't necessarily deserve. He's just the easy target right now. But I do think because let's be honest, what casual fan's going to watch every press conference and listen to all these things? It's a lot. Like, even for us during the season, it's a lot of time that we have to invest in listening. And I encourage you guys to do so, and you should, because you will learn a lot, and you will see things from a bit of a different perspective. However, when Shoddy would go in the press conferences, to your point, Aisha, and to your point, Kristi, there is just a magnetic force that makes you want to listen to him. You're very drawn to listen to what he's saying, and just the way he explains things, again, something about it does not make you ever feel dumb for asking a question. And that makes me excited to talk more to him, learn more from him as a head coach. But also, some of the guys and current players on the roster that are about to play for him, they're excited for it, Kristi, to your point. They're not like down and out about it. I haven't gotten feedback from any of the ones that I have talked to saying anything negative. It's more so like anxious excitement. Like they're ready to get back to it because it is Shoddy, and they're excited for it. But yeah, I'm glad we got to catch up in Kristi's little catch-up session. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it is March Madness. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Get your brackets ready, and no, it's not the one you're thinking. Stay tuned to find out which one. This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. We'll be right back.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise, the Yeti French Press. Up next, waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take your steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Do it for confidence on and off the field. Do it for you. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Don't wait. Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys Nation, Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, is now exclusively in the Dallas Cowboys app. Join the official fan club today to receive access to the all-new Cowboys Drops feature, team news and pre-sale access, plus fan and kid of the game. Download the app now to join.
I just missed you.
Yeah. Hey, and speaking of Globe Life, we're a couple of days away from Globe Life Texas Rangers opening day.
Opening day's right around
What's
the corner.
happening in sports,
Man,
especially football?
The
and
Stars are
basketball.
winning.
Stars.
The UFL kicks off this weekend.
Yes.
How exciting.
Renegades.
Go Renegades. Go UFL. Anyways, all right, guys, welcome back to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. It's March Madness, guys. Speaking of a lot of things going on in sports, March Madness also happening. I'm sure everybody's brackets are a dumpster fire. Well, I don't do one. However, I decided, because I didn't do a March Madness bracket for basketball, I was going to do a bracket for the Cowboys. Okay.
Wait,
so
I'm sorry. We're doing a March Madness
Yeah.
bracket for Cowboys.
it's more like Just Madness at this point.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to do a Girls Talk, Boys Talk, Just Madness bracket. And how this is going to work is we have our Elite 8, as Aisha called them, and we're going to go pair by pair. There's 8 names on this bracket, and we're going to kind of discuss who needs to have the biggest jump this year, whether it be a second-year jump, improvement, comeback from injury, all of those things kind of go into effect for this bracket.
Okay, I like this.
Yeah, we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
So if you guys want to play along, go tweet us and let us know what y'all think, so you can play along with us. However, we're going to get started because there's going to be some discussion. I hope you guys disagree. Let's get into it. And I'm going to play devil's advocate no matter what. All right. Our first section of the bracket, we're going Tyler Guyton versus Damone Clark. Who needs to have the biggest year compared to those two guys? And keep in mind, all of these are going to be an offensive guy and a defensive guy against each other going forward in this bracket.
Oh,
Go.
This is a 1 versus a 16. I mean, it's Tyler Guyton.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
He's a first-round draft pick. He's your blindside protector, presumably. I mean, I guess you could move him. There might be some thought of that, but no question about it, because he, being selected where he was, and yet being a healthy scratch, being backup at the end of the season and losing his starting position, I think he is one that is ripe for rebound this year.
Okay.
I agree. So I definitely agree with Kristi, is that, Guyton it's going to be important for us to see what how he takes a step forward this upcoming year. I will wholeheartedly expect for that to be a competition. I think we're going to look up at left tackle in training camp, and Austin Richards. And Nathan Thomas is another gentleman that they kind of stashed and put away, is going to be in that conversation as well. So he has some guys around him to push him. So for me, yes. But I will say with Damone Clark, though, given what you just said earlier, Kristi, about the linebacker room, obviously I know that they went out and grabbed Jack Sanborn, who I think was a fantastic addition from the Bears, and then also Kenneth Murray. I still think that Damone Clark, depth has hurt us. Depth has hurt the Cowboys, and that's the biggest thing. So it's like, even if he is going to be a depth player, I'm looking for him to, obviously there were some issues with the last regime. Hopefully, maybe he can find some synergy with Eberflus and those guys, and they can find some way to use
Yeah, and that's a good point. Actually, for both of them, you could say for Tyler and for Damone,
These
they're
are
both
changes
going
to
to
the
benefit.
staff.
They're going to benefit from changes to
think
the
so, too.
staff. Yeah, and the other thing, so Dave Borgonzi, who actually was here with the Cowboys, so know him as well. But remember, Matt Eberflus, as defensive coordinator, was a linebackers coach, so he knows a lot about that position and has a lot of empathy for that. But I will be very interested to see how a lot of these young linemen respond and grow under the tutelage of Connor Riley, who's the new offensive line coach.
And I want to say
clean slate.
I'm not down and out on Damone Clark. He's a guy I have a very soft spot for in football in general. And with the last, I guess, couple of years, there's been, I think, a lot more going on behind the scenes that has impacted him and him as a player and kind of where he fell in rank and didn't get his opportunities. So I'm excited for a clean slate for Damone. I think what you see out of Damone this year is the player he is. And that's just kind of point blank where it's at. Because this year, he doesn't have the old regimen. He doesn't have, everything around him that maybe was affecting him before. Now he pretty much just has straightforward, what do you have under this clean slate? I'm excited to see Damone.
Figured you would be.
I'm excited. And Kristi, last year, oh my gosh,
when he came on the show last year.
We enjoyed talking to him, but last week, oh my goodness. Last week we were talking about the green dot and kind of how that's affected. He should be a front runner for it. He's done it before and all of that. So to me, if I'm Damone, and I don't doubt Damone's going to use that fire to be lit under his booty to kind of get things going, if that's also kind of a factor to get him pushed along a little more, so be it. All right, so all three of us are in agreement. It's Tyler Guyton moving on to the next round.
It's Guyton.
Guyton?
Him to come on with it.
Guyton. Cool. Next round, we have Mozzie Smith against Luke Schoonmaker.
Cheetahs.
Aisha.
Huh?
Mozzie or Luke?
This was hard.
I know, I did it on purpose.
Do you think it really is? I mean,
For me?
seems easy.
Oh.
No?
Oh.
I feel like it's harder.
Oh. Okay, we'll pick
I
one.
only feel like, specifically, it's harder for me because Schoonmaker, that tight end room was really lackluster last year in general. The DT room was lackluster last year. Like, they're kind of in the same boat to me in a way. Injuries, dealing with injuries, development, new staffs, new people. Now, Lunda's been here. So, for the sake of what you want to do defensively, you need Mozzie to come on with it.
Okay.
You just signed Osa. You need a strong middle in this Eberflus system. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work if you do not have strong DT play. And I think that something that got lost last year, towards the end of last year, is actively seeing Mozzie improve. Now, the team was still losing games and they were struggling and stuff, but you see him getting it. You see him popping off the ball fast. You see him holding up double teams. You see the pursuit to the ball, too. I think his conditioning was far better towards the end of the year as well. So it's like, okay, cool. So for me, it's going to be Mozzie, but it's hard because I think Schoonmaker is going to be imperative to what Clayton Adam wants to do. Clayton Adam wants to do running the ball.
Yeah, because
these tight ends going to have to block.
Yes.
And they have not been that good at that this last couple of years.
Kristi?
So, go ahead.
I'll be real interested. And I think we'll get a glimpse in camp, not in the preseason games, because you don't show a lot in preseason games because you don't want opponents to figure out what you're going to be doing in the regular season, but how much 12 personnel, which is one running back, 2 tight ends. So a lot of teams will use what they call 12 personnel, have 2 tight ends out there to help block in the running game, or even how much, if Hunter Lipke's playing fullback, how much we use a fullback.
Sure.
But I like Luke Schoonmaker personally, did a lot of events with him last year and a lot of community relations stuff. But in terms of from the team standpoint and who you're relying on more, to me, it's definitely Mozzie, that you really need him. And I know Schoonmaker was a second-round pick, but Mozzie a first-round pick, and he needs to continue to get fans and media off his back, and the way to do that is to come out and have a strong start to the season. But with what Flus wants to do, heck, with what any coordinator wants to do, what White Cotton as a defensive line coach wants to do, you have to be stout in the middle of the line. And then the best pressure on a quarterback is often what's right in his face, pushing the pocket straight up in the face of the quarterback. So I really hope that this is a breakout season for Mozzie Smith.
Yeah, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Y'all already won, so Mozzie's going to the next round. However, I think this could be a big year for Luke Schoonmaker in terms of you have a Brevin Spanford that stepped up, who will continue to do so. I expect even bigger things from Brevin this year. You have a John Stevens Jr. returning. Princeton Fant, also a name we tend to forget, but we shouldn't for good reason. That tight end room is getting a little stacked with talent that I feel like if Schoon can't overcome this hurdle or this hump that he kind of has been on, he could get outshined in training camp. That could be a roster spot that could potentially be at risk if these guys decide to come with it during training camp. And especially, I mean, John Stevens Jr., he was a very big loss last year. He has shown time and time again that he is a guy, you know, despite the injuries 2 years now, that can easily come in and shine through and take a roster spot. So for me, I worry about Schoon being able to kind of outshine the rest of the guys in the room. That's not to say you don't know what happens in the draft yet either. So for me, if I'm Schoon, you got to do it. This is the year to do it. I don't want to see the guy lose a roster spot. And yeah, to your point, the blocking hasn't been great. He has dealt with injury before. So I'm curious to see kind of what that tight end room battle looks like come training camp. But not to say Mozzie does need to step up either.
Yeah, I don't think that
you need it.
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, personally, I think tight end is low key almost a need. I feel like
it is.
I feel like you could have. I feel like you can go out and you undrafted free agency or draft one, because the reality is like Ferg was getting dinged up so much last year, and there was no one that those guys, all of those guys, they had a chance to take it over.
That's why it was such a disappointing season.
They had the chance
for them.
So who says the Cowboys ain't gonna be like, you had your chance.
And
you're
you
a
know
death piece now.
You know what's sad is when Ferg was out, we were sitting here waiting for Schoon to step up, and he did in the way he was supposed to during that game.
He did some better things. I'm not gonna say.
But after that, it was back to radio silent. And from a guy like Schoon or any player in that position that you have a chance to be a proven second in that room, I wanted to see that on a consistent basis. And given we know before anyone comments, the offensive line, this is an extension of their struggles and the tight ends having to block and not being able to be a receiving aspect of the game. We know that. We're saying in general, though, when the opportunity was there, a lot of dropped passes, a lot of just miscommunications that you don't want to keep seeing, especially that late in the season. So
I agree.
Yeah, you lose the dynamic part of your offense, and I don't just mean Cowboys, but if you don't have a tight end who can be a downfield threat. I mean, what does George Kittle mean to San Francisco? What does Mark Andrews mean to Lamar Jackson when he's healthy? Yeah. And Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, I know that's 2 Hall of Fame players there. But and even with the Cowboys, you know, Dalton Schultz was a Pro Bowler here, and then what Fergie did his first couple years when he's healthy, and go back to the 90s. Yes, it was the triplets, Troy, Michael, Emmett, but on third down, if it wasn't the slant to Michael, Jay Novacek was your dude.
Talk about it.
Even like
Jason Witten,
I was
Tony
gonna say
Romo.
my generation.
Jason Witten,
that's no
Tony
shade
Romo.
to you.
No.
I grew up watching Tony Romo, Jason Witten, knowing
Just
that's
run
a
the
sure
stick
guy.
route.
That's your guy in the end zone. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah, that
need it.
option route.
You have 10 seconds left in this game. You need to still score, kick a field goal. You knew who Tony was going to in the end zone.
Your tight end-
You had that dependency and that urgency to do it. This tight end room in general. While we're on the topic, our next set is Jason Ferguson, or Jason, oh my gosh.
We know what you meant.
Jake Ferguson and Kalen Carson. And I only put Fergie on here because, again, that tight end room as a whole seems to be struggling a little bit, falling through the cracks of being as part of a game as we would like to see. So I put Ferg on here.
Yeah, I'm going with Carson, especially given what is happening with Jay Lou. Initially, when Kalen Carson was drafted, I looked at him as someone I thought should have been playing nickel in the first place. Now, again, it is a lot of IQ. It takes a lot of repetition. It takes a lot of time. But the way in which he played in college was he likes to jam. He likes to get his hands on you. He knows how to get through trash. He's a strong tackler. That is a nickel to me. And so I think that I wonder how they're going to look at him maybe having the opportunity to pursue playing in the nickel. But he's going to be given. We don't know the timeline, particularly with Trayvon Diggs. Obviously, Deron Bland is there. But there's so much uncertainty with this cornerback room. Is Israel McQuamu going to become a corner again? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just a lot of conversation to be had. But with Carson, given what your secondary is right now, it is like essential that he comes out and shows that confidence that we saw on his college tape and shows that sticky corner that he can be, because you really have no foundation. Like, who's opposite?
Sure.
No, we don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, the coaches were high on him. Those coaches are gone.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent point. And the fact he only played 6 games last year and ended the season on IR, but he had lost playing time well before
Yes, ma'am.
the IR. And so basically kind of fell off a cliff last year. And I was surprised because we all thought he was going to have a chance to, and he did have a chance to contribute more because of the injuries at that position, and yet still didn't take advantage of that opportunity. But I think he is one of these young guys that will benefit the most from having a fresh slate. And I am very interested to talk to Matt Eberflus and see his thoughts on Carson. I have not talked to him specifically about Kalen yet. So I look forward to having those conversations, because you're right. If this is a guy that can step up and show what you, Aisha, saw and the others saw in the draft, they're going to need that this year. But at the same time, Jess, you're going to have to be the tiebreaker on this, because I agree, Kalen Carson, they need him, and a lot of room for improvement to step up and be a key player.
You're going Ferg?
Yeah, because all I said about a dynamic offense, and when Ferg was playing hurt last year, he wasn't the Ferg that we knew from his Pro Bowl season the year before.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Well, we have to take our next break to find out what my answer is and who is the ultimate, what are we calling them? Needs to have a good year.
Jess Madness
the
survivor.
Jess Madness survivor of this bracket. We'll be right back. This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk. Stick with us.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Do it for confidence on and off the field. Do it for you. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Don't wait. Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy Calvin. This stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the crews. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take a steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys Girls Flag Football League is here. With nearly 100 participating high schools, the Cowboys are thrilled to provide opportunities for athletes to develop their talent and foster the growth of girls flag football in the state of Texas. Find teams, view schedules, and learn more at dallascowboys.com/girlsflag. So,
Love it.
over 2,000 in North Texas and doing an event tomorrow at DISD. We've got 22 teams in Dallas Independent School District alone.
I love that.
It's awesome. The
Girls
season
rule.
has kicked off.
I love it. Let's get to it. All right. I left you on a bit of a cliffhanger. Welcome back to Girls Talk Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, by the way. That's who we are. Kristi, you should just here. We're finishing our March Madness bracket for who needs to improve the most this offseason to have a better season this coming year. I'm going to go with, we were between Jake Ferguson, Kaylin Carson. Aisha had said Kaylin Carson. Kristi said Jake Ferguson. I am going to give Jake the benefit of the doubt here. Only because out of everybody in that tight end room, he has stayed the most consistent. I will say, though, if he doesn't have a great season this year, it's going to impact the game significantly. And I get that. However, if Jordan Lewis was still in the picture, I wouldn't have to say Caitlin Carson. I feel like that cornerback room is significantly impacted.
It's scaring me.
And that is the most tricky part to me when I look at the defense. I'm the most nervous. And because Caitlin Carson is so young, Jake has that experience. He knows how to bounce back. He also has that relentless, how do I want to call it, grandfathered mindset from his football family that I trust, because time and time again, he's proven we can trust that he can do that.
Yeah.
Caitlin Carson, I don't know yet because we haven't seen anything. So it's a sample size compared to what we have for Jake. So I'm going to go Caitlin.
Yeah, because if the criterion is needs to improve the most, with Jake Ferguson, it's more get back to what you were in terms of health-wise.
And you need
to
him
improve the most. You're right. You don't, small sample size, and we don't know what we have.
But I do want to go, I'm going to go Caitlin Carson only for this, but Jake Ferguson, don't get it twisted. Y'all know that tight end room stays one of my favorites and most intriguing. I really need them to step it up this year, period, point blank. Next round, we have Jalen Tolbert and Marshawn Nealand. And not necessarily Marshawn Nealand needing to improve. I think he had a great rookie season. It's more so needing to step up, especially with the absence of Tank Lawrence now. Same thing with Jalen Tolbert, needing to step up in terms of there's a wide open wide receiver 2 position that you can have and solidify as yours. Who are we going with, ladies?
Nealand.
Oh, she was quick with it.
It's tough, though. I mean, that you need both, but I don't know, just so much more part of the rotation. And like you say, if Tank were back, it'd be different.
Yeah.
Who are we going with?
It's hard. Because I'm, what the heck is the wide receiver depth chart right now? Let me look.
It's rough. It's not rough. I'm not going to say it's rough.
Well, you brought in Paris Campbell.
It's Jalen Brooks, Paris Campbell, Ryan Flanoy, Kevin Kelvin Harmon, CeeDee Lamb, Jonathan Mingo, Jalen Cropper, Jalen Tolbert, Kevontae Turpin, and Seth Williams.
Oh, and CD. Don't forget CD.
I said CD. Did
Okay.
I say CD? Well, yeah, CD. Duh.
I mean,
We'll say it twice just because it's CD.
who's threatening?
That's the issue. Is anybody, anyone?
And
Bueller,
What we're
Bueller.
saying.
I don't know.
That's why Jalen Tolbert's right here.
This is hard. This is the hardest one for me.
Well,
okay, I gotta
we have 1
go
minute until
Nealon.
we're technically supposed to be on. We got 3 more rounds to do.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna go Nealon. I felt like
Okay.
immediately, like who we need to come on with it, because Tolbert, I feel like at this point, there's Kevontae Turpin could be your wide receiver 3 for all we know in this system. We don't know.
He could be a 2. You don't
That's
know.
what I'm saying. Like we don't
Wide
know.
open.
They better draft a receiver.
Yeah.
But
Oh, they will.
but there's so many. There's so many like Nealon in that end room. There's no Carl Lawson.
Yep.
There's no DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yep.
Like you need him to come on with it. But I think the knee injury did kind of throw him. The MCL did kind of throw him a little bit because that first few games, I said, "Oh, this is a grown
Monster.
man.
Yep.
This is a grown man playing that run." So for me, it's going to be Nealon. I think if he could take a step, it's going to make life so much easier for your defensive line room. And
Beautiful.
he is that bigger edge that Eberflus likes anyway.
Beautiful. All right. We're down to our final 4, everybody.
Okay.
Tyler Guyton and Mozzie Smith. Say a name.
Oh, my
We don't need an explanation.
Okay.
You got to pick.
Guyton.
Huh?
Oh.
I guess I would say Guyton because if you
No,
gonna
don't
suck
make
on,
it easy on her.
if you're going to suck on defense, just score all the points.
Don't make it easy on her. You
Let's
know
go
you
score
wanted to
points.
say Mozzie.
I
know
kind of
you
wanted to say I
Mozzie.
kind of wanted to say Mozzie, but
Say Mozzie then.
go score points because the defense is the uncertain part.
Okay.
Yeah, go score points.
So Tyler Guyton.
It's going to be Guyton for me. I really need him to step.
Okay.
It's going to be Guyton. Oh, my God. This
All
one's
right.
hard.
Your next 2, Nealon and Kalen Carson. Marshawn Nealon versus Kalen Carson. Go.
If Nealon's
Nealon, because if you have a good pass rush, it helps your secondary.
Okay.
Nealon. It's going to be Nealon for me,
Dang,
too.
you guys are not making this very
Nah,
controversial.
because that's just football sense.
I mean, yeah, but like, make it controversial. Okay.
Okay,
Who
controversial.
needs to have the better season? Tyler Guyton or Marshawn Nealon?
You go first on this one.
Oh, my God. Huh?
Go.
I'm thinking.
Think quicker.
Okay. You said be controversial.
Yeah, please do. But quickly.
I'm trying.
You're doing a great job.
I don't know. So I don't want to make it easy and just say,
I'm just the tiebreaker, so I get it. I get off easy in this one.
that's wrong.
It is. But so right.
I'm going to go Guyton.
'Kay.
I'm sorry. Like, I just think first round pick, the year he had last year,
Okay.
you need him, like, as of right now. Like, you really need him to play well. So I'm going to go Guyton.
Chris.
And I'm going Guyton because if you stay healthy, an offensive lineman is on the field 100% of the time.
All right.
As opposed to if you have good defensive line,
They
you're
rotate.
rotating.
Jesus.
Not
what
that
if
my vote matters, but I would have gone Tyler Guyton as well. I do think I highly disagree, and I've said this before, with the stigma that follows that first-round draft pick, especially for an offensive lineman. I just don't think it's kind of the same as like a wide receiver.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Where you can step in, and it's essentially it's just different. It takes time to learn, and so for me, what I want to see from Tyler Guyton this year is just improvement. You've seen it from Mozzie. You've seen it slowly, but you've seen improvement. I need Tyler Guyton to be on the fast track to improvement because especially without Zach Martin on that line, you need stability to start being set. You need those staples to just be there. And the only one that you really have at this point that is sure set, you know what you're getting, is Tyler Smith. And that's really it. You don't know where Cooper BB is going to be. You
Still
don't
would like a word.
Yeah, still,
Well,
like I
I'm
played
sorry.
100%
I'm sorry.
of snaps.
I'm sorry.
He's played all the
I
snaps.
played
I'm
100% of snaps.
But I
What
know
do
what
I
you're
have
saying.
to do?
I get
to
what
get
you're
some
saying.
Look,
respect
Terrence
from
Steele,
this woman?
you're so great. I didn't even have to worry about you.
That's
However,
not a bad thing. That's not a
However,
bad thing.
he's consistent, but there is also work that needed to be done for
Yes,
Terrence
ma'am.
Steele as well. I'm saying the most consistently well-playing player has been
Yeah, it's been
Tyler Smith.
It's been Tyler Smith.
Yes.
However, the offensive line scares me, and without a good O-line, you can't have a good offense. Without a good offense, you can't score. Without a scoring game, you're not going to have a great start to your season. So, puts a little bow on it. Anyways, final thoughts?
It was a
On a
fun, it was a
bracket?
fun bracket. Thank you.
It was a little more
Thank you
crazy
for the work on that.
than I thought it would be.
It was harder
It's
than what I
March
thought it was
Madness.
going to be. Some of them people was
That
like,
had my heart racing.
carry the 2.
No, it was a lot of math. I didn't even draw the bracket right, if that makes
That's
makes
why
you
it's
feel
called
better.
March Madness and not March Easy.
True. That was not March Easy at all. All right, ladies, we have run out of time. Kristi, I'm so glad you were able to come
Miss
back
you,
on.
girl.
We
Thanks for
miss
having me
you.
back. See
We
ya.
love you. Please go follow Kristi if you don't already. She is just the best. And
Scoop.
we were talking about her before we were on the phone. We were gossiping about Kristi. We were like, she's one of the smartest people we know.
Absolutely.
And so I hope
Fake it
you
till
know.
you make it.
I hope you know how special you are to us and how much we love you. All right. That is it for today. Kristi Scales, Aisha Morrison, Jess Navarro is here for Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. We'll be back here next week with our usual crew. We'll see you then. Have a great rest of your week. Bye, guys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!